Cincinnati, welcome to the jungle! Let's go. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite in stripes. Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strike the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin', who day? Time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Blue day in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move closing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange upon 'em, bingo bottom. Never stopping till the beast on feasting on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move closing on? Now who wanna move on? Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the AFC North champion Cincinnati Bengals. Now, do me a favor, if you found this show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm up to 1,524 subscribers. That is awesome. I appreciate every single one of you guys. So if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for the notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, you can check it out on my podcast later on. It's on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Also, if you want to give me a super chat, it's exclusively in the YouTube chat crew. So if you want to make sure your comment gets read, we got Jay Morrison from The Athletic. He knows his stuff about the Bengals. You got something you want to ask him, give me a super chat. I would greatly appreciate it. Now I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave, and the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, guys, like I said, we got Jay Morrison from The Athletic. He's got a short amount of time, so I want to hurry up and get to him. Here's Jay. Jay, what's going on, man?
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Good, buddy. Sorry, my dog is going. Every time I go live, my dog wants to go get on the show. I think he's jealous that I'm on here.
Makes me feel right at home. The neighborhood I live in, that's all I hear is barking dogs all day long.
Exactly. So, have you been busy? I know you just got back from the combine. How was your trip? I was there Sunday. How did you enjoy the combine?
It's always enjoyable. It's tiring. I I'm getting too old to do what a lot of the reporters do, which is hang out at the bars well into the night trying to find sources. And we are lucky enough that the Bengals give us coaches over there. A lot of these reporters that cover teams, their teams don't do that, so that's their only chance they get to talk to them. But it's always good to get over there and talk to other reporters, other scouts, coaches, kind of get a feel for what's going on, and then also get an insight on what's going on with the Bengals and just catching up. I mean, I think the Athletic had close to 100 people credentialed for that place. So
Wow. That's a
yeah,
lot.
it was kind of like we just got bought out by the New York Times. So on Tuesday night of Combine Week, we had a big happy hour get together and got to get some FaceTime with some of the bosses, and so it was good. It was a good week.
You guys are gonna start big timing me. You're not gonna be able to come on my show anymore. You're part of the New York Times now.
Nah, that'll never happen. Maybe we'll cut it down to like once every 2 years.
There you go. Hey Jay. All right, so we are in free agency period. I know we just talked about the combine and the draft, but everybody wants to know about free agents. And as we know, earlier this week, the Bengals tagged Jesse Bates. Now, as it says on the graphic here, they have till July 15th to come to a hopefully a long-term contract with him. I still believe in my heart of hearts that's what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to extend it as long as they can so they can figure out the money with situation with the free agents. And plus, I don't think they want to do all the guaranteed money that, Jesse Bates and his agent probably want. What's your thoughts on the Jesse Bates issue right now?
Yeah, I mean, that's where it's at. It's the dollars per year, and it's the guaranteed money. And if they're not going to give him the guaranteed money, he's figuring, he and his agent are figuring, well, why not just play on the tag then? If they're only gonna give him 15 or 16 guaranteed, why not just play on the tag and see where it goes? The Bengals do want to keep him long term, and I know Jesse wants to be here long term, but it's just not that close right now. We're on the figures, so they've got time. They've got 4 months to get this done. I was much more confident that it would happen at the start of the week than I am now. It just sounds like they are so far apart, but you never know where these things are going to go. You never know where free agency is going to go. How much money they have left over at the end of free agency can kind of dictate something. But we know how this organization works. They put a dollar value on a player, and very rarely do they overpay. They say, this is what you're worth. This is what we're willing to pay. Take it or leave it, so to speak. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. It's going to be really interesting to see if it gets to April 18th and the voluntary workouts begin. Is he going to sit out if there's no deal at that point? I don't foresee him refusing to sign the tag and sitting out the entire season. That would be madness to turn down $13 million.
Right.
But so yes, fans can expect to see Jesse Bates in uniform in 2022, but it's anybody's guess where this heads after that.
Yeah, I think what's hurt him is he didn't have as good a regular season in 2021 as he did in 2020. I think that's what's hurt him, and the Bengals can use that to their advantage, which of course they're going to. And Jesse Bates has come out and already said he doesn't want to be the highest paid safety in the league, so that could have hurt him as well. I don't know, but there's a lot of things that are going on there, and hopefully they'll get it resolved. But we have free agency starting next week. And it came out now. You can take it for what it's worth, but this is what a guy from one of the Pittsburgh radio stations tweeted out. Jeff Hawthorne and Andrew Flippiano, I guess they're from 93.7 The Fan. And they're saying that it's a 95% chance that Ryan Jensen ends up in Cincinnati. So I don't know. Like I said, take it for what it's worth. I'm not saying it's facts or anything. I'm just saying it's out there, and they have put it out there. What have you heard about the Bengals and Ryan Jensen?
Well, I mean, they're going to sign 2 or 3 offensive linemen in free agency, and they're probably going to be interior guys, and Ryan Jensen is the best center available. So that's not a surprising report. I'm never going to disparage somebody else's reporting,
right?
But you always wonder when it's 95, 90, when they leave themselves an out. There to say, well, I said I didn't say it was a done deal.
Right.
So, but that is, I mean, he is a guy that they would like to have. Obviously, he's played in the division before. He's won a Super Bowl. That's not as big of a deal now that they've been to a Super Bowl. It's not so much that they have to go look for these guys that have had postseason success. This whole locker room has had postseason success now.
Right.
But still, he is in their crosshairs. I expect them to have at least one center and one guard wrapped up by the time, maybe this time next week, maybe Thursday. But they're I'm not gonna say they're gonna be super aggressive. It's not like they're gonna come out of the gate on Monday
Right.
and start throwing the crazy money around that you see.
Right.
And if someone else does that and offers Jensen 14, 15, they're not going to chase that.
Right.
But if it works into their structure, then yes, he very much would be a target of theirs. It's not yes, they need to improve the offensive line, but it's the interior of the offensive line that needs the most work.
Exactly.
The most
Exactly.
improvement.
Yeah, and I'm kind of going back and forth. I kind of like got excited, like, yeah, I think they're going to get him at like 13 or whatever. And then earlier in the week, they're like, oh, he might be getting that price, and he might be getting 15 million. I'm like, I don't think they're going to pay him 15 million.
Mm-mm.
So and now this came out, so I don't know. My they're tugging with my heartstrings here, Jay. I can't wait to get to next week. But the three guys that I've heard, my personal just stuff that I've looked at. Now I have no inside sources or anything like you do. I just scour the internet and talk to different people on the show. But to me, it sounds like three guys that they are targeting is Jensen, maybe trading for Laremy Tunsil, and then Laken Tomlinson from the was it 49ers? I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those are the three. To me, it seems like they're zeroing in. That the three that I think they'd like to get. If they get them, I don't know. But what are you? Have you heard anything about those three, or you think they might go more down? I hate saying cheaper. I'm just saying the lower tier guys that they would be cheaper money, but not that there are any, that the Bengals are being cheap about it.
Well, I mean, in our choose your own adventure, we had Tomlinson, I believe, at 10 million, and we had Daniels from Chicago at 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my guy.
Right.
He's going to be 24 when the season starts. He's already got 4 years of experience. He's only going to be 24. He's got tremendous upside. He's young. If you're going to pay a guy you're not going to go pay a guy over 30 this kind of money.
Right.
I don't know about Tunsil, but this team doesn't like to trade draft picks.
Right.
And I'm not sure if there's a player that would be an attractive trade there. I'd be surprised if that happens. Tomlinson, very much. I believe my partner on the beat, Paul Daner Jr., had Tomlinson as one of the guys that they would sign in his own choose your adventure. He's not reporting that's going to happen.
Right.
We filled out this sheet, and that was his pick at one of the guard spots. So yeah, I mean, those Daniels and Lake and Tomlinson would be great fits. And if you do that, then Jensen's probably off the table, and you're looking at a cheaper option. Paradas from Denver, or maybe Bozeman from Baltimore. Well, but it's just there. If any team holds their cards close to the vest in free agency, it's the Bengals. So there's no real, not reporting anything right now. I'm just kind of giving you who I think that the best options and the best fits are for them.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not completely against bringing Trey Hopkins back at center, because one thing I've said, he's never had two really good guards on either side of him. And if he has that, how would that affect or improve his play? So I don't personally think that that's, off the table either.
Bring him back, but not at that salary. Cut him and then see if he's willing to sign a cheaper deal. I don't think there's going to be a hot market for Trey Hopkins if they release him.
Right.
So I do think they could re-sign him at a much more reasonable amount. Maybe a couple $1 million as opposed to the $7 million that he's due this year. So yeah, I would fully support bringing that guy back. There are glue guys in that locker room, and he's one of them. And just his intelligence and his willingness to, if you do get a young guy and that young guy beats out Trey Hopkins, he is not going to be a problem. He's going to do everything he can to help that young guy. So he would be an important piece to bring back, but not at his current salary.
Right, I got you. Now, another one people keep talking about, which I think this would be a long shot, is J.C. Jackson out of New England. I would love it, but I don't. We're talking about the top flight guys here, and the Bengals, like Brown. They want the guys that are and they're going into their second contract. 20, 25 years old. Around there, on the verge of the upswing, like the guys they signed last year. And I don't know if Jackson is one of those guys. I'd love to get him, but he's a high-priced guy, and I don't know if they would sign him. What's your thoughts on the Bengals going after him?
Yeah, I think he's too expensive. He would probably cost you half of your available cap space.
Right.
I don't see it happening. They're really happy with Awuzie and Hilton, and
Mhm.
you could bring back Eli Apple, a pretty reasonable cost if they elect to do that. Maybe they won't. I don't know where that stands. The turnover with the cornerbacks coach, I think, is telling, where the Vernon Hargraves thing in the Super Bowl and
Right, yeah.
Darius Phillips and Eli Apple spouting off. There's a lot of things there.
Uh-huh.
I just think they've focused so much on defense the last 2 years. This is going
Right.
to be an offensive free agency. This is going to be all about the offensive line, and I
Right.
wouldn't be shocked to see him sign a reasonable a Hayden or a Witherspoon or
Mhm.
Nelson, one of those cheaper corners. But I can't see him breaking the bank for J.C. Jackson, as great as a player as he is.
Right. No, and I completely agree with you. I think with the draft, the depth of the DB class in this draft, and
Right.
they're not afraid to draft a cornerback number with their first round pick. I mean, they've done it before, so I would be surprised if they're going off, which I think, and I think all of us think they're going to go heavy offensive line in free agency, and I think they're going to go heavy defense and some offensive linemen, but mostly defense in the draft. And I wouldn't be surprised if 31 there's a cornerback there that they could get.
Yeah, in the choose your own adventure, most of what everybody has picked has been a cornerback at that spot, because you're right. I think that's what's going to happen is they're going to go heavy on O-line and free agency, and I think all these mocks you're seeing right now have them picking offensive linemen because you don't know what's going to happen yet.
Right.
And some of these people doing mocks aren't as close to the team as what we are. I see, like I said, 2 or 3 offensive linemen, and then you don't have to force yourself into an offensive lineman. I think if they get the 2 or 3 offensive linemen free agency, you're going to see them go cornerback or defensive tackle with that first round pick.
Yeah, I would love to get Wyatt Davis from Georgia, but I don't think he's going to be there. That was my
No.
first one, but then after he killed it at the combine, I don't think he's going to be there. So now Dean McDonald here, he has a question. He said, "Where do you see the biggest need on the O line?" For me, it's easy. It's guard and the interior line. But go ahead.
Well, if you're planning on cutting Hopkins, then it's center.
Mm-hmm.
You need it not just for the ability to block, but you need that guy that can call out protections. That's one of another reason why you Dane Brugler with us with the Athletic has them taking Tyler Linderbaum in the first round, and
I wouldn't mind that. I mean,
no, would. I don't think he's going to fall that far.
I don't either. But with his short arms, you never know now. With that, I don't know. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
But you still don't know how a rookie is going to handle that. The recognizing the protections and making the changes on the fly, and then the pre and post snap movement on the defense that changes everything. That's tough for young guys. And the Bengals, they took Billy Price in the first round. You have to go back to 1983 to see before they took a center in the first round before Billy Price. It's just not, and they've only taken one guard in the first round in their entire history, and that was Kevin Zeitler. It's just not what they do. So I think that's why you're gonna see them target those positions, get good, proven, not Pro Bowl guys, but solid, proven interior linemen, the whole no donkeys approach. And then, but I do think center is the most important, because you're still banking on development of Jackson Carman. You could still bring Quentin Spain back at a reasonable amount. You still have guys on this roster that you could kind of not count on, but hope for development. But if you're going to cut Trey Hopkins, then you have no other option.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the funny thing I think to this offense or this offseason so far is you guys have said on your podcast, and I know you've written about it, and everybody who talks about the Bengals knows this, they don't spend money historically, big money on safeties or guards. This year, they're going to have to. They're already spending $13 million right now on Jesse Bates.
Right.
That's going to happen. That's the worst case scenario for him. And they're going to at least sign at least one guard, possibly 2. So they're actually going to have to spend some money. Now, it just depends on how much money do they want to spend. Like I said, I don't see them spending more than $10 million at the most at a guard. Center, yeah, I can see them go up to 12, maybe 13. That's still pushing it, I think, for a center, but I could see that. 15, no, I don't think they're going to. But I just think it's really interesting that the Bengals have kind of, I don't want to say backed themselves in the corner, but they almost have, where they have to do something that they don't normally do, and that's pay for guards and pay for a safety.
And I mean, it's not what they normally do, but this is Joe Burrow's team now, and yeah, he's not signing the checks, but they want to keep that guy happy, and that's what he wants.
Mhm.
He's not so concerned about guys flying off the edge. He feels he can handle those. He's got great pocket presence, and he's elusive with that. It's when that pocket collapses on him that causes the problems. That was what happened in Tennessee. That's what happened against the Rams.
Right.
That's where he wants the protection to be beefed up, and they're going to listen to him. I think they saw it, and they know it's important. And it's taken 54 years or whatever it's been that the franchise has been around, but they're going to pay guards.
Right.
And now you could see something. Maybe they sign one, or maybe they sign a center, and maybe the tackle market craters for some reason, and they can get a great deal there on one of these higher priced tackles. Anything can happen in free agency. It's just a crapshoot. And if that does happen, you're still in good position, because 31, you're still probably going to get the second best guard available. Right. You're not Green's going to be gone. Maybe Zion falls to him. And even if not, you can get a quality guard in the first round at 31. But yeah, either way, whether it's actual dollar bill capital or whether it's draft capital, they are going to spend on guards this offseason, and safety. Like you said, they've already paid Jesse already committed to pay Jesse 13. Now,
the other thing we have is right tackle. We haven't really talked about that. And I personally have a feeling that oh my goodness, his name slips my mind. The right tackle for the Bengals last year that they just signed.
Riley Reif.
Thank you, Riley Reif.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that he possibly could retire. I'm not against bringing him back either, but I could see the Bengals going, if they don't bring Reif back, going after maybe like Morgan Moses or Trenton Brown from the New England Patriots. That's more of I think the structure, the cost that they would go to, unless of course unless they trade for Laremy Tunsil, which I'm all for, which I don't know if they do that or not. But I think Morgan Moses and Trenton Brown are more of along the lines of what they possibly could do. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, if they sign 2 or 3 interior guys, they're not. I don't think they're going to get a tackle. I think they will take their chances there in the second round. That would be a good spot. If you're looking at the first round, you're probably talking about the 6th or 7th best tackle, maybe the 6th best tackle there. There would be a better value to get a defensive tackle or a corner there, and then get an offensive tackle in round 2. Again, I could see them bringing Reif back. I could see Reif wanting to come back. I mean, he's at the end of his career, and he was this close to a Super Bowl ring. Exactly. I mean, I don't think it's going to cost you a lot to bring that guy back. It was a bad injury, but they starts rolling around a football season, and the memory slides a little bit, and these guys get hungry to get back out there. And then there's still a lot of faith in Deontay Smith, and Adeniji could maybe be a good swing tackle. I don't think they're going to bring back Fred Johnson. I'm not going to rule it out, but
he had a lot of DFAs. He didn't dress for a lot of games. I think,
that was pretty telling. Yeah. On a line that was giving up 70 sacks.
Right.
So yes, but I could see that more a second round tackle, and then maybe making another run at a guy in the middle rounds, in the 4th or the 5th round, and just throwing bodies at that position, and have a wide open competition in training camp and let the best man win. Again, you don't need an all pro over there. You just need a solid guy that's not going to get whipped over and over again. And I think they believe in Deontay Smith, and they messed around with him at guard last year, and then he had the injury, and he just if they bring him in this year and just say, okay, you're our right tackle, go. It's going to be really interesting to see how he develops.
Yeah, I know Frank Pollock was gushing over him, in training camp last year, because I remember I just. I do the Bengals bridge crew, and I go and hang out at the practice lot, and I talked to him for about 2 seconds. I said, "You like that guy?" He goes, "I love this guy." He's put at Deontay Smith, so that's pretty good. For Frank Pollock to say that this is just some random guy, but still, he likes it. And the other one, I like I said, I don't think the Bengals are going to give up on Jackson Carman, so that's where I could see him. And there's a lot of talk about putting him at left guard. That might be a better position for him next year, because he was a left tackle. Being a left guard, it might be easier for him. So I could possibly see. I mean, there could be an offensive line. Let's just say with Ryan Jensen at center, which throw out there, and I don't know, I don't even know if is Daniels who's a right guard. Is Daniels right guard or
Yeah, you could put Daniels at right guard.
all right, Daniels at right guard, and then you have Deontay Smith and Jackson Carman, at your left guard and right tackle. That I mean, I'm a little leery about that one, but that could possibly be what the Bengals might do. Just depends on how free agency works out.
Yeah, I mean it's on my. I have them getting their starting guards and starting center in free agency.
Right.
And then you throw Deontay Smith at right tackle. Your swing tackle is your second round pick, maybe your first round pick, more likely your second round pick. Keep Jonah at left, and then a corner in the first round, a defensive tackle in the first round, and then a corner in the second or third, depending on how the tackle's faulty at that spot. I don't feel like tackle is even though the offensive line is the number one priority, I don't feel tackle is as pressing as some people think.
Well, especially if you could sign Riley Reef, and then you can you can put him there, and then if Deontay Smith beats him out, then he beats him out. That's what you could do as far as that goes too. Now I got a question for Dale here. He says Larry O or BJ Hill most likely to return. Good question.
Great question. That's what I really struggled with on my sheet. We only had them projected a million apart, but it made the difference. It's like Larry's going to put you over the cap and BJ's going to keep you under. Mm-hmm. And I brought this up on our podcast. Larry Ogunjobi was way better against the run than I thought he would be. Than I think even the Bengals thought he would be. BJ Hill was way better than I think anybody thought he would be. And my question
that's got to go down as the greatest trade in Bengals history. I'll say it. It's pretty freaking good.
James Brooks was a pretty good.
Right. All right, second greatest trade. There you go.
But the thing with what I wonder about, because BJ Hill, he kind of benefited from rest. He wasn't an every down guy, or nobody's an every down guy at defensive line. But Larry Ogunjobi was playing about 65% of the snaps, and BJ was playing 40%. What would BJ Hill look like if you asked him to go 65, 70%? Would he be that effective, or would he wear down? Larry Ogunjobi's proved it. He's carried that heavy load the last few years in his career, and he was terrific with Cleveland, great with the Bengals. Injury was really unfortunate against the Raiders in the playoff game. There's going to be tough calls there. I'm trying to remember. I moved my sheet around so much, and I think I may have settled on not signing either one of those guys and going first round defensive tackle, and then bringing back Josh Tupou as a just a cheap option there, as more of the backup to DJ Reader. But they're very, very thin at three technique, and it feels like one of those guys would probably be back, but it's not going to be the priority. They're gonna wait and see how the offensive line fills out, and then you got to wait and see too. I mean, both those guys played so good, and everybody saw what Aaron Donald did, and that is a premium position in this league now. And there may be teams throwing tons of money at BJ Hill and Larry Ogunjobi, and the Bengals aren't going to get into that chase.
Right, exactly. I mean, BJ Hill, I think, made himself a ton of money just in the playoffs itself, because he made how many good plays for us. So I mean, he could price himself up, but that does, like you said, that worries me. If we don't sign, to me, we got to sign one of them, and we still have to go get somebody in the draft, and that's where I wanted Wyatt Davis. I was hoping he'd be there, but these guys, these three tech guys that are really good in the draft are going to be, I think, most of them. The really good ones, I'll put that, are going to be gone at 31. That's what's scary about 31. A lot of the linemen, the offensive linemen, they're like the guards, like you said, most likely. So one will be there, but the three tech and these guys are looks like they're gone. That's where I keep going to. I think if the fixed offensive line in free agency, the best player available, it might be a cornerback, and then you feather out, three tech in second, third, fourth round as well. I don't know. Like you said, it all depends. And I've said this many times. It depends on what in the world they do in free agency on the offensive line. That sets the whole thing up.
Well, what does this team do best in the draft? They draft wide receivers and they draft defensive linemen. Yep. And this is a super deep draft
for both of them,
for defensive tackles, and specifically, everybody saw what they did in Indy, the freak shows. So yeah, you could wait to the third, fourth round and get a D tackle that could be your starter, and not gonna say it could be the next Geno Atkins, but We've seen this team do it before.
Right.
They have this way of getting mid-round defensive linemen to be.
We can't draft offensive linemen, but we could draft defensive tackles.
Yes, exactly.
All right, Jay, it is 6 o'clock. I know you say you got to get out of here by then.
Yeah, I do.
Appreciate you coming on. Tell everybody about The Athletic, your podcast, and the articles you got going before I let you go.
Yeah, we got Hear That Podcast growling. We're down to one episode a week in the off season, but next week we will be doing emergency pods. As soon as they sign somebody, at the end of that day, we will put together a podcast. So who knows? We could have 3 or 4 podcasts next week.
Dude, sign me up for that. I hope so.
Yeah. And then I am currently everybody saw the Choose Your Own Adventure. I've logged everybody's sheet that sent them in on Twitter, and I will be doing a composite look at who picked what. Really interesting to see where the fans come down on where the money should be spent. And anything. Paul and I are working hard for you guys. I know it's the off season. We've had a long season, but we're right back in it now. So just keep your browser pointed to theathletic.com or your app on your phone, and we will keep you up to date on everything.
Yeah, like Paul says, you always like giving yourself homework, so you're really good at doing that. And the whole Choose Your Own Adventure. Somehow I missed that. I was listening to your podcast last night at work. I'm like, how did I miss that? Oh my God, it's too late now. I can't pull mine in. But anyway, go check them out. The Hear That Podcast Ground is a great podcast. I've had Paul on here. Now, you have to tell Paul you've been on here 3 times now. Paul's only been on once. I mean, he's got to catch up. You got to get some competition here going. So anyway, Jay, I appreciate it, man. You take it easy.
Great talking to you, Jeff.
See ya. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, as much as I do. Jay Morrison is awesome. Every time I've asked him to come on the show, he has always come on. He's given me a date to come on. I greatly appreciate him coming on because he's full of a lot of insight. Hell, he's got, he works for The Athletic, who they get a lot more information than I do. So go check out their podcast. Go check out The Athletic. And like I said, they're going to do emergency pods. I plan on doing something like that. Like I said, next week I will be on vacation in Florida, but I will be on my phone, on Twitter, scouring stuff, and then my wife's gonna be irritated with me because they're gonna be on there all the time trying to find out what in the world the Bengals are doing. But this is just an epiphany. I kind of tweeted it out before I went on the show today, and it's just when there's smoke, there's fire. And I'm not saying any of this is gonna happen. I have no clue. But with the guys from the Pittsburgh radio station tweeting out saying it's a 95% chance that Ryan Jensen will end up with the Cincinnati Bengals. And there's been lots of talk, and it's not talk. It's talk from people in the know about. It's not fans sitting there saying, "Okay, we gotta go get this guy. Gotta go get this guy." But there's a lot of talk about Laremy Tunsil. There's a lot of talk about Lincoln Tomlinson. If they could get those 3, and you bring Riley Reef back. Or actually, you don't have to do that. If you get those 3, never mind. If you get those 3, you're moving Jonah Williams to right tackle. That's awesome. If worst case, if you're getting Ryan Jensen and Tomlinson, and you bring back Riley Reef and let him and Deontay Smith battle out, I'm good with that too. And that would maybe possibly put Jackson Carman or Quentin Spain, who I love Q, bring him back, let them battle out for the other guard. I'm good with those. Those are good. And that might be more along the line of what the Bengals might do. We're all still stuck until the Bengals do something and change the narrative that the Bengals don't spend money on interior offensive linemen or safeties, which we just said in this podcast. They're going to spend $13 million on Jesse Bates. No matter what they do right now, worst case scenario, that's what they're spending. If this report that came out of the Pittsburgh radio station of Ryan Jensen, if they pay 15 for him, I will be absolutely shocked. I'll be ecstatic because Ryan Jensen to me is everything that Frank Pollock has said he wanted. He said he wanted that voice in the room. He wanted that nasty guy, that glass eater. That's what he wanted. That to me, that's Ryan Jensen. That's what he does. That brings an attitude, brings a presence to your offensive line. That's why I think it would be a huge get to get him and solidify the interior of that line. And then if you can get Lincoln Tomlinson or like Jay Morrison just said, Daniels from Chicago, either one of them, both of them would be awesome. If you get a new center and 2 new guards, Bring back Riley Reef. Let him and Deontay Smith battle out for the right tackle. And let's go, man. That offensive line will be 10 times better than what it was last year. It will be. And Riley Reef was not bad at right tackle. Riley Reef was a very good right tackle for us. Unfortunately, he got injured, and he wasn't able to play in the playoffs, Super Bowl. And like Jay said, he was that close to winning the Super Bowl, and he knows they're that close. And if they can fix the interior line, Riley Reef might go, you know what? I'm pony up. We're going to do this one more year. We're going to make one more run at it, try to get this ring, and we'll see what happens. And I know lots to talk about J.C. Jackson. I just don't see it. I just don't see them spending the money on J.C. Jackson just because I think this is a very deep, like Jay said, it's very deep cornerback. Well, he said wide receiver and defense tackle. It's also very deep in cornerbacks as well. So there are going to be guys that the Bengals can get. And I could see them adding a guy there, or like he said, getting one of these older free agents, maybe along with Eli Apple, to play the other corner, along with a draft. They're going to draft a corner. I would be shocked if they do not draft a cornerback, a defensive lineman, and an offensive lineman somewhere in this draft. I would be absolutely shocked. So those are our positions of need and depth. So as far as the second cornerback, don't tease me. Gary says, don't tease me. Hey, man, dude, if they did what I said with Laremy Tunsil, Ryan Jensen, and Lincoln Tomlinson, I would have a freaking heart attack. I would, yeah, it would be. I think we'd be partying like crazy in Cincinnati. It would be awesome. I'm not saying they're going to do it. I don't know, but it would just be a lot of fun. But even let's just, like I said, just if you get Ryan Jensen and you get Tunsil or excuse me, Tomlinson or Daniels on the interior, and you re-sign Riley Reef, and you have Quentin Spain or Jax Carman at left guard, that one's still good. I'll take that too. Let's see here. Haas, what you got? Tunsil, Tomlinson, Jensen, Spain, Williams would be nasty. Wishful thinking. Yeah, probably. Just like I am. It's wishful thinking for me too. I don't think they're going to get all of them, but it would just be like Jay is starting to convince me more and more. Just Jay is, he's in the know. You know, he thinks they could possibly really fix the interior line, which, you know, me myself included, I've kind of written Riley Reef off. Why? If he wants to come back, he played really good. If you get Jensen and you get Daniels and you get Tomlinson in the interior of your line, look out. Look out, squealers. Look out, ratbirds. We got an O-line, you know. And like I said, you bring back Reef and you let him and Deontay Smith battle it out. I'll take that. I would take that. All right, let's see here. Jeremy, you're doing some Sauce and Kobe talk here. What do you got? Sauce won't make it that far, but Kobe actually got, as far as, yes, Sauce is not getting out of the top 10. I think Sauce is going to be the first cornerback taken. But Kobe Bryant, there is a chance the Bengals can get him in a second, possibly at 31. I don't know, because every time I do a mock draft, and I do it all from PFF, the cornerback from Baylor, is always there. So me personally, I take Kobe. I'm a Bearcat fan. I like my Bearcats. You know, I would love to get Sauce. There's no way, and I love Sauce, but I am not at all willing to try to trade up to get him, because cornerback is a need, but it's not that big of a need. We just made it a whole season with Eli Apple as one of our corners. If you can get a slight upgrade from Eli Apple, not that Eli, Eli, if you're watching, love you, brother. I want you to come back. You know, get a Hayden, you get a slight upgrade there would be great at cornerback, and then you can draft one there to develop. So I think we're good as far as that goes. I would like to get also secondary help. I'd like to get a safety in there somewhere, because, you know, Bell is most likely, you know, next year might be his last year with the Bengals. So you got to be able to get somebody there. And who knows what's going on with Jesse Bates? I mean, I think they're going to sign him, but you never know. That's another reason why I don't think they're going to let Jesse Bates go. I really don't. He's 25. He's in the right age where they want him. I think it's the guaranteed money and different stuff like that. Now, Jay has said he's a little less. he's more cautious, I should say, that they won't sign him to a long-term contract before that. But we got till what is it, April 15th or November, August 15th, I think it is. Anyway, they got a ways to go to be able to work it all out, and things can change between now and then. And a lot can happen. And next week is huge because next week, to me, is the statement for the Bengals offseason. And I'm not saying you have to go bang right out the door and sign the biggest free agent out there, but you have to sign a couple of them. You know, they have to make it known that they are fixing this, and they have to make it known not only to their fans but to their players. And to me, that bodes well for moving forward to getting more players to come here. And look, let's look at it this way. I mean, it is a thing where the Squealers, the Browns, the Ratbirds have to really worry about the Bengals more than they did this past year, because if we get an offensive line, it might be over. Might be over. All right, let's see. Let's get some of. All right, there you go. Gary, what do you think about trading down at 31? I'm okay. I'm okay with that. It just depends on who's there. I have to preface it that way. If the guy the Bengals want, if they think they can get him in the second round, then yeah, trade back, get some more picks. I'm always for trading back and getting more picks, as long as you are improving your team. So it is always an option, and it's always on the table for the Bengals because they do that a lot. So there's a very good chance that they could do that. Let's see here. Crown. So by the time you get back from Florida, the Bengals better sign some offensive linemen. Oh yeah, that's a week. Crown, yeah. I think they will, yes. I mean, because you got to look at it this way. If you guys remember last year's first day of free agency, Bengals didn't do anything. Nothing. They didn't do anything. You know, then it started rolling in. People started freaking out. Then it started rolling in. Then they started getting players in, which that might happen again this year. I don't know. Let's see here. James, you gave me a $5 super sticker. Sorry. That's a new one. I didn't even know I could do that. Or you guys could do that. I appreciate the $5 there, sir. Thank you for the support. Appreciate it as always. Just like that, you guys can give a $5 sticker. You do a $5 super chat. Whatever you'd like to do. All right. What are you thinking about the tight ends position? We'd definitely like to get some. My computer scroll up. We're definitely trying to get some depth there. No offense, Sample. Great blocker, but not much for catching. Be great to keep him for a second tight end. Yeah, let's see here. I want them to resign CJ Zama. I think there is a chance. Again, I think this is something that the Bengals will probably address in the draft. Again, there are tight ends there. I know everyone wants Gronkowski. I'm not saying no. You know, if Gronkowski wants to come here and play and it fits under the Bengals plan and cap hit and all that stuff, abso-freaking-lutely, I would love to get him. I just don't see that. I don't know why. I just don't. I'm not all in like, yes, let's go get Gronk. As you know, like a lot of people are. I like Gronk. I would be great, but I do think we need to upgrade not the tight end position, but the depth of the tight end position, and that could be possibly through free agency. It could be possibly through the draft. I do think they're going to do something, because Drew Sample, I think he's a good backup tight end, but we need, like you said, we need guys who can catch the ball, and he is not. It's not really. That's not really his forte. That we'll see. All right, let's see here. Keith, the Bengals may be looking hard at Lewis Signs, safety from Georgia, if they can't agree with terms for long-term Bates. Well, they could draft. They're most likely going to draft a safety, and in this draft, and to me, it has nothing to do with the contract of Jesse Bates. They need depth there. They need to, like I said, possibly replace Von Bell if they don't sign him after next year. So that's I really do think I just cannot imagine the Bengals not signing Jesse Bates to a long-term contract. I just can't. And I really do think a lot of it has to do with the guaranteed money. they have a hard time doing. They don't do guaranteed money. You know, I think that has a lot to do with it. In my opinion, I would just be absolutely shocked if Jesse Bates is not with the Bengals. He's gonna be with the Bengals next year, but I'll be shocked if they don't sign him to long term. Let's see here, Bill. They're concerning me, man. We don't give Jesse Bates guaranteed money. They won't be signing any of the top free agents. That Bozeman, Reef, maybe Q sounds like our likelihood haul. No, Bill, I love you, brother. No, they're going to sign. I'm with Jay Morrison. They're going to sign some interior offensive linemen. They are going to sign Jesse Bates to long-term contract. Like I said, I think a lot of the decision making with long-term contract has, and even Jay Morrison even said it on here. They want to see what they're doing in free agency. They're talking to guys, but until people actually sign and agree, it's different. And like I keep saying, you got the elephant in the room. You got Jack by Joey Burrow coming up big in a couple of years. You got Jamar Chase. So these are contracts that they have to consider as well, that they have to pay for. Now I know the salary cap is going to move up, but I just don't think there is no way the Bengals are looking at Joe Burrow with a straight face, who got sacked 70 times this year, and saying Bozeman, Reef, and Q are going to be your offensive line. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Haas, Gronk would be great for the red zone alone. Yeah, exactly. But I don't want to pay him a ton of money just for the red zone. Does that make sense? That's where I think he would be huge for the Bengals. The red zone, yes. But it depends on how much money he wants. It would most likely just be a 1-year contract. And I still think Gronk's going to retire. I think Gronk will retire. Richard, it's not like the Gronk needs all the money. He just might want another Super Bowl ring. And he might. You never know. I mean, he did retire 2 years ago. So it ain't out of the question that he would retire again. So we'll see. Let's see here. Greg, so many excellent players hitting the streets in the weeks to come. You can get a quality older player on 1-year deals for depth. You can. And they did that throughout the season. I mean, look at Flowers. That's who the safety they picked up. That's exactly what it was. He got cut. That was during the season, but yes, you absolutely can do that. And those are depth pieces. I guess what I'm talking about, if you're talking about the depth pieces, is far as the secondary goes and the safety wise, we need young guys back there to potentially replace. I'm saying Von Bell. I love Von Bell, but I would be surprised if they signed him to a second contract. I just would be. So I think that's where the depth pieces that in the draft come into. And I don't know if you're talking about the secondary or not, but that's just kind of where I was going to. Joel, you said you would offer the vet minimum for Gronk and leave it there, and they might do that. I don't see the Bengals going out of their way to sign Gronkowski. I just don't. I just don't. And the thing is too, I've said this over and over and over again. This offense really isn't designed for the tight end to be a big part of it. It can be. They can always change it, but that's not really how it's designed. And I don't really think they need to upgrade CJ Uzama. I think you need to upgrade the backup part of the tight end position. And I said Kyle Rudolph, you get him, which he's older. You got Zach Ertz. You could get him, but again, he's older. But that would be along the lines of guys that you would probably sign for backups. But Zach Ertz could be bigger money than I actually think he's going to be. But I don't know. That, like I said, we're just kind of spitballing here and seeing, what we come up with. Joel, although I must admit, seeing the videos of Gronk eating Skyline graders would be gold. Yes. Yeah, Baylor. Yes, I'm with you, Greg. Baylor's Jalen Petrie. Yes, that's who on a lot of my mock drafts that I've been doing here lately. He's the one that's been there. I would be all for drafting him and hopefully making him our, number 2 cornerback. Like I said, the Bengals are not afraid to draft a cornerback in the first round. They've done it a lot, hit or miss, but they're not afraid to do it. So, you want him to play safety? Well, see, the thing is, you don't need him eventually he could play safety, but you start him out at cornerback right now. You don't need a safety. Right now, we don't need a safety. We need, future-wise, yes. So you could start him out at corner. How about this, John? Greg, sorry. You can start him out at cornerback and eventually move him to safety. So we'll see. Anyway, that's it. That's just stuff we could talk about, hit on. Like I said, the combine was fun to watch. This time of year is fun, and it's fun to discuss the potential of free agents that the Bengals can sign. Anyway, it's about 6:20, and like Greg said, it's dinner time. I'm with you, brother. I'm hungry. Have you heard my dog barking again? That means my wife is back, and I think she has some food. So I'm a fat guy, and I like to eat. So look at the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And as always, I appreciate every single one of them. They're Who Dey Nation, Who Dey Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar, and I just like to thank all of the Bengals Facebook groups that let my show live stream on there. I go with Who Dey Nation and Who Dey Legion because they were one of the original ones that helped me. But everybody who lets me live stream on their Facebook pages, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trunipple. TikTok, it's at Iceman90. I'll be pulling out sound later on tonight. And check it out on the podcast. It's on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. I'm not on iHeart. I need to get on iHeart. I need ads too. But if you're listening to this on a podcast and you are a company that wants to get on a local podcast, hit me up on Twitter. Jeff A. Trunipple. You can DM me. YouTubers, we're at 1,524 subscribers. That is awesome. Like I said before, I've said it again, I would like to get to 2,000 by the time the football season rolls around. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors about Sports with Strawberry Ice. Please make sure you subscribe, like, and share. I would greatly appreciate it. Richard says my dog's hungry too. He probably is. He probably is hungry. Other than that, I got a good guest tomorrow, which is, hang on, who do I have? It's kind of hard sometimes to keep track who I had. Oh, I got Charlie Goldschmidt from the Cincinnati Enquirer tomorrow. He will be joining me. We could talk a little bit about what's going on in Arizona with baseball, which is nothing. We could talk, or we could talk Bengals. So Charlie Goldschmidt covers both. So you guys got any baseball questions or any Reds questions, or Bengals questions, hit us up tomorrow live at 5:30. And other than that, that's just sports, baby. See ya!
Let's go. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle dripping heat, tigers strike the city streets. East side stand up, west side stand up. If you reppin' who day, time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Who day in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on. brothers in the jungle we unite in dripping orange and black and white all day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange Apollo, bingo bottle, never stopping till the beast of feast and know who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on